from the Lakeside Newsroom of the Henrico Citizen, your hometown news source since 2001. This is the Henrico News Minute with publisher Tom Lapis.
One of the largest economic development projects in Henrico's history may soon take shape in the northern part of the county. We'll have full details coming up in today's Henrico News Minute for Wednesday, December 2nd, 2020. It's brought to you today by Henrico Area Mental Health and Commonwealth Catholic Charities.
And now for the news.
It was a story that we brought you first on HenricoCitizen.com yesterday. County officials and developers announced plans for a massive 200-plus acre project to be known as Green City that will rise at the intersection of I-95 and Parham Road at the site of the former Best Products headquarters. The project will include a 17,000-seat arena, along with about 2 million square feet of office space, nearly 300,000 square feet of retail space, 2 hotels, and more than 2,400 residential units. The plan is being proposed by 2 of the developers who were part of the unsuccessful $1.5 billion public-private Navy Hill proposal in downtown Richmond. The team led by Michael Hallmark and Susan Eastridge has a tentative agreement to purchase from Henrico County the 92.3-acre Best Products site, which the county has owned since 2011. They'll purchase it for that same $6.2 million price that the county paid 9 years ago. More than 100 additional adjacent acres also will become part of the project. Most of those are owned by Richmond philanthropist Bill Goodwin. The development will not require any public funds. The developers are planning the project on a private basis. Henrico County will create a community development authority that would be tasked with selling bonds to pay for infrastructure improvements to the site and then recoup that money during a period of no more than 30 years through certain taxes on the property. The total value of those bonds in such a scenario is not yet known. The county has used that funding mechanism 3 times before. It is a key difference between the Green City project and the failed Navy Hill proposal, which Richmond City Council members voted down in early February following more than 2 years of consideration and deliberation. A majority of council members had concerns about how that project might be funded and how much financial liability might fall upon the city. Richmond Mayor LeVar Stoney had initially proposed the creation of an 80-square block tax increment financing district, or TIF, to raise $600 million for the arena project over time by diverting city tax revenues to it. That plan was opposed by many in the community and on the city council, in part because it involved applying tax revenues from a significant number of properties that were not part of the project. At Green City, however, the CDA will impact only the proposed development. Now, the development group does not include Dominion Energy Executive Chairman Thomas Farrell, who headed the NH District Corp., which sought to build the Navy Hill project. Instead, the driving forces this time are Hallmark, who has spent more than 3 decades designing and building some of the most prominent sports arenas nationally, and Eastridge, a real estate developer for more than a quarter century. The proposed project represents a potential seismic shift in the local landscape, with Henrico now poised to see the development of a project that had been planned for downtown Richmond. The developers are hopeful of attracting at least one minor league sports team, be that basketball or hockey, along with dozens of large concerts and the possibility of attracting major collegiate sports tournaments and other events. At an arena they are deeming perhaps the most green-friendly in the nation once it's completed sometime in 2025. A report that had been prepared by the Navy Hill Group suggested that a new downtown arena could have been expected to host between 121 and 181 annual events and attract between 509,000 and 683,000 annual visitors, depending upon whether or not it housed a minor league sports team or not. Henrico County Manager John Vitolkas told me yesterday that the county became enthralled with the idea of the eco-district that the developers are planning, even more so than the arena itself. The community will have more than 40 acres of park and green space, as well as more than 1.5 miles of trails. Now, it could take as long as 30 years to pay off the bonds floated by the CDA, but after that point, Vitolkas said that The county should expect at least $20 million annually in tax revenue to be generated from the development. In the meantime, he cited a number of other immediate economic benefits, such as construction jobs and other jobs that will be created by the businesses that locate in the development. The total build-out is expected to take about 13 years, ending in 2033 if all goes according to plan. The next step is early next year, Green City will submit plans and an application to rezone the land to an urban mixed-use zoning classification. After the Board of Supervisors sells the best product site to the developers, and they also finalize agreements for the remaining 100-plus acres of land, county would go through a public process to create the CDA. Then planning and permitting would begin, and initial developments would be built between 2021 and 2024. The arena would be slated to open, as mentioned, in 2025. Developers have committed that at least 30% of their contractors and subcontractors would be minority-owned businesses. And they said that the housing plan for the development will range from affordable and rental properties to higher-end units for sale. Vitulkas believes that the eco-district will attract businesses that are looking to move out of cities with high taxes and low quality of life. Now, for a number of years, the county has been planning road improvements in the area to Scott Road and Magellan Parkway, which is being expanded all the way north to Route 1. Those projects would have taken place whether or not this proposal came forward, according to Vitulkas. Now, you can read our complete coverage from yesterday on HenricoCitizen.com and stay with us in the coming days and weeks as we delve deeper into this proposal.
Every 12 minutes, a Virginian dies from an opioid overdose.
Every 12 minutes.
Opioid overdoses are on the increase in Henrico. Yes, the opioid epidemic is still impacting residents in Henrico.
But you can help.
To find out what you can do, go to bouncebackhc.com.
That's bouncebackhc.com. Knowledge is power, including learning about naloxone. That's naloxone, which can temporarily reverse the toxic effects of an opioid or heroin overdose.
Get informed, get help, save a life.
Go to bouncebackhc.com. That's bouncebackhc.com.
To equip yourself with the knowledge to help our residents and the community of Henrico County against the opioid epidemic.
Knowing what to do will allow you to be prepared to save a life. Go to bounceBackHC.com today.
That's bounceBackHC.com or call 804-727-8515.
That's 804-727-8515. Directly for substance abuse services.
This message is sponsored by Henrico Area CSB Prevention Services.
Sandston Elementary School has been selected by the Virginia Department of Education as one of the state's honorees in the National ESEA Distinguished Schools Program. That was announced yesterday by Henrico County Public Schools. The school was honored for its academic achievements and work with special populations of students and their families, including the school's homeless students, those with disabilities, and English learners. There were fewer than 100 schools nationwide garnered the honor in Sandston's category. The awards program is run by the Organization of State Administrators who implement the Federal Elementary and Secondary Education Act. Sandston will be recognized at the group's virtual conference in February. Today's Henrico News Minute has been brought to you by Commonwealth Catholic Charities. Change the world for a teen who needs you. Become a foster parent. Learn about Commonwealth Catholic Charities' International Foster Care Program today. Call 804-545-5949 or visit cccofva.org to learn more.